bitches.
Hi, hello, and welcome back. Today,
Trigger warning. Let's just start out with
yo,
that.
yeah,
Trigger warning.
if you are triggered by a lot of things due to past experience, uh, just being uncomfortable with certain things, or because you're a bitch, you would be listening to us if you were that one. But,
What the fuck just came out of your mouth? What is happening?
what the fuck? That's fucking rude.
um,
Listen, a lot of people get triggered at work about stupid things, so I feel like I have to fucking say it.
fair. No, so we are going to be discussing Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline. The
Yeah.
series, duology. Is there going to be another book? I don't know.
No, it's just a cat and mouse series, which is
That's
just
what I
two
thought.
books. Here's the thing, we didn't write anything down. We literally just read it in our own time and then we wanted to discuss it. And here's the thing why I wanted to discuss it. I thought that Brandy was going to be the complete fucking opposite of me. And I honestly thought we were going to debate this. This bitch,
Because I'm a feminist. I get it. I get why you thought that.
yeah, I was like, oh man, this would be so fucking great if like Brandy reads this and we talk about it. It's going to be great because it's I just thought we were gonna have like heated debates.
I do think that there are parts of the book, especially if we were to like sit down and go through chapter by chapter, there are
Yeah.
parts that we would disagree about. But
Overall, I just thought you'd disagree.
I do like Zayd. I get it.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah. Well,
also like I watch the show You, and I
mm,
find myself rooting for Joe. Not attracted to him in any way because that goofy looking motherfucker is a goofy looking motherfucker. But I root for him. And the Zayd, I don't know. I think part of me it's because of some of my past traumas and my childhood traumas and just being so hyper independent and
yes.
having to be so independent from
Yes.
such a young age. Having someone to take control or take care of me is attractive.
Yeah. Like as a child, I always thought I was more so I was obviously more attracted. Okay, saying as a child and attracted in the same sentence really just sets me off.
Fair. That's a valid mindset.
Yeah, so as a child, I looked up to those hero roles. I also was a huge Disney fan. So like having the princesses being like in danger and having that person be able to save them and do that thing for them, I think that really kind of like set my whatever. And I
Yeah.
but also on the off chance, and here's the other thing about that too. Not that I grew up in a family where like I didn't have a protector in my father. I did, but not as much as my mom. My mom was the mama bear. My mom was the person who would go up to bat for you. Like dad would be upset behind scenes, but then when it came to like saying something in front of people, like he just the words wouldn't come out correctly and then he would just get really mad at himself and then it just so he just didn't do anything. He just didn't know how to control that, I guess, annoyance. But because I came from a feministic in a way, not fully feministic, but enough kind of family household, I was like, I want someone to protect me. I would like to date somebody who can take care of me or somebody who is like a police officer, like a firefighter, or like military, like the stereotypical protector kind of things. And that's kind of where I went with life. I was like, yeah, I like men in uniform. I also really like men in other uniforms, I found out. Well, he looks so cute in his like low polo. But anyways, so I like that. And I think that's why I really like not TV shows, well kind of TV shows, but like books with protectors. But now I'm starting to be like, I want to be that protector. But now, like, I feel like a poser in ways because I feel like I'm wanting to be protected and be babied because I wasn't necessarily babied as a kid throughout like my adolescence and all of that. But I also really like to be a feminist and like I can take care of myself. Get the fuck off of me, like kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think in reality, I could never be with someone like Zayd. I like the idea of it, like of
I
being
feel like
taken
that's
care
what
of
most
and being
people say.
protective, but
The dangerous
my
type.
my feminist side would definitely bristle against that. Like I need to have my independence. Plus, if I want to be alone, I want to fucking be alone. You're going to need to give me that space, and I don't think Zayd would do that.
Mm-mm.
But I would say, like, in my relationship, it's kind of the perfect meet in the middle. Like, sometimes I am the protector and I am the one that's going to be like, no, your food is wrong. We're going to send it back and get what you actually fucking ordered. You're not going to eat some weird ass raspberry fucking chicken wrap because they gave you the wrong food. Um, that is a true
That's a
story. Actually
very
happened.
I was gonna say that's a very specific story or
Because
example.
it actually happened. Um, Or you're not going to eat those KFC mashed potatoes with gravy on them when you specifically asked for no fucking gravy. We're going to send it back. Like, but also in the other flip side of that, I think that Brittany more protects me from myself. Honestly,
Mm,
like when I'm
mm-hmm.
beating up on myself and I'm like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to, like, I'm not doing good enough or whatever, she'll like protect me from that. But I do have to say that there is one thing that happens in these books, or one fact or thing we find out in these books that makes me like Zayd. And if it weren't true, I would hate him. Or not hate him, but I would hate their relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
that
What is
is
it?
that Addie was down for being, like, she was on the list to be trafficked before she even was involved with Zayd. Because if not, then yes, his obsession with her and all of it would be the entire reason that all of this bad shit happens to her.
Yeah,
But we find out that she was already down on, I forget, the society. Is that what they call it?
the
Um,
society, yeah.
the
Because she was
society's
like the
list.
author that like her poster was everywhere. So like she wasn't famous, but she
Yeah.
was mildly renowned kind of thing.
Yeah. So she was already on their radar and on their list before
Yeah.
Zayd even came into the picture. If that weren't true, I think I would have a lot harder time um, being on Zayd's side or being
Yeah,
Team
because
Zayd.
now he's just obsessed because like he's saving her kind of thing
Yeah. And his
and
logic, I'm not gonna lie, his logic of being like, you had to get to know the real me from the start, because I could have come into that bookstore, I could have got your number, I could have wooed you, but that wouldn't have been me. That
I
all
think
makes
that's
a lot
something
of sense
too.
to me.
I think that's also something too where I was like, "Oh." Someone's like, "He fucking like Will would be like, "He fucking raped her when she
Yeah,
said
no
no."
awe. No
And I was
awe.
like
But also,
and
like, I get it and I like that. Now I still am all about consent because ugh,
yeah, well, and here's the thing too. I really like that he is very upfront about who he is, and
yeah.
I think that's what really kind of was like, "Oh, at least he's showing her what he's truly like," because there's a lot of guys out there that won't do that.
Yeah,
Like
and they would
on
keep that in the shadows, and yeah.
and like 3 months go by and then you finally find out who they are. So, it's nice to be like, yeah, he's a creep, but at least he's like authentic from the get-go.
Right.
I mean, if you had to choose somebody, do you want to like fall in love with somebody who does this or like he's a stalker and fucking
Well, and
freak from
here's
the
the
get-go.
thing. She's going to be stuck with him either way, right? So, I mean, that sounds bad, but it's the truth in this situation. Like, either way, she's going to be stuck with him. So, would you rather know from the front and fall in love with who he truly is be it Stockholm syndrome or not, listen, Beauty and the Beast, Bella's my favorite fucking princess. So, and yes, I've
See,
seen the
and
fucking
I
TikToks. Stop sending them to me because you're not the only one that sent them to me. Yes, I get it. The people who
I
read
know
Dark
I'm sitting there
Romance
like,
now are now like, who was your favorite princess? Belle. I get it. Okay, be it Stockholm syndrome or not, she gets to know him from the beginning and knows who he truly is and falls in love with him and is happy now, or he lies to her in the beginning. She falls in love with who she thinks he is, then finds out who he really is and tries to leave and can't because he's
yeah,
fucking psycho. Because let's be real, he's fucking psycho. Like there's no denying that. But he also is a fucking badass who breaks up pedophile rings and
yep,
trafficking
there
rings
it
and like
is. And
and
this
he's
is
like,
the ethic. This is the debate I wanted.
if they don't adopt that little fucking girl, like,
I know. He's like, yeah, I'll be your
yeah,
daddy. I'll be your
right?
mommy's daddy at night too.
Yeah, I, which is funny
Listen,
because we just talked about this in the Fourth Wing episode, but
Zaddy.
yeah, I didn't realize who Zaddy was the first couple times that, because they're all both like morally gray characters and they're both like the bad guy. So like
Shadow daddies.
a lot of the TikToks made sense for both of them. Like,
They both have scars on their face.
right. Also,
They both
I
have
just
black
need you
hair.
to keep that what you just said in your head about shadow daddies. I just need you to keep that in your head and hold it
Okay.
there, and you'll understand
For the fourth
later
week?
why I said that. Um,
Okay.
so
Because he
just
does things in the shadows.
you'll find out.
I saw some not for safe artwork, so yeah. It's dark wherever they do it. That's
Okay,
for
also,
sure.
can we talk about some of the not safe for work scenes in Haunting Adeline? Because
Yeah, it really kind of like set me off the whole gun scene. Like, bro,
the
you stick a cold ass weapon in a vagina,
yeah, it's the weapon
bro.
part for me, especially because
And then
like
he
think
goes, "I
about a
just can't
gun. Like
touch you
even
yet."
small guns are
Yeah,
really big and they have like pointy pieces on them and I'm
my favorite is
sorry.
when he shoves it in her mouth and she's like, "Ew." It's like, yeah, it's fucking metal.
Like really?
It ain't gonna taste yummy. It's metallic. It's gonna taste like fucking coins.
Yeah. The whole thing is just like, ugh. Um that whole scene. I'm just like,
And part of me kind of wonders if like the danger aspect of it.
that is
I mean,
definitely her kink. Like she
yeah.
likes to
And
be scared.
here's and I get it. Like, yes, it was not sexually consented pretty much any of the time
Wasn't
until
it
she
though?
started. Well, okay.
I feel like haunting Adeline, no. None of it was
Yeah, no.
consensual. Hunting Adeline, everything with Zayd was consensual.
Yes. I think
Wait,
everything.
now I'm like,
Yes.
which book was the mirror scene in? That's hunting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like everything up to the end was consensual.
yeah,
Not consensual. Sorry, not consensual.
yeah.
In
But
Haunting
also, I think
Adeline.
it was a little bit. Like,
Okay, and see, this is where I get it, and because every single time I talk about it, or I like kind of squealed at like a scene or something that he said or something that they did, I don't know, something. Will's always like,
okay, because
he
like
raped
there,
her, and I was like, but listen,
like, did he like? So
yeah, it's like at first, yeah, he like kind of forced and coerced her into doing it, but then she actually likes it. Like she got turned on by it prior to even doing anything.
okay,
Like
and like let me preface this discussion real quick because sometimes your body does things that you don't truly want. Even when you say no, your body still does things.
which
And
we
rape
learned
is
about that
not
in
okay.
Hunting Adeline.
Yeah. Yes.
Because so she was bought into sex trade, and a very very rich billionaire bought her, and his kink is blood play, so like he cuts
Yep.
her as he's raping her, and once he's finished and gets off and do all of that, he focuses on her, so he makes sure she gets off.
Yeah.
And that's where she kind of gets that, like, that's kind of where, I mean, other than the situation she's in, we see like her, well, am I truly, like,
She feels
do I just,
betrayed by her
yeah,
body.
because she's like, I don't like him, but like I got off and I did this and I got that. So like you could see
Yeah.
that
So
it's
let me,
real
like, I guess
world
what I'm
shit.
trying to say is we're not saying that Zayd raped her, but she liked it. No, like mentally in her thought processes, she thinks like I actually like this.
Yeah. Like
And
whatever he says, what he does, like it turns me on, the danger of it.
yeah, because
And
that's
that's her
like her
kink.
kink. Like,
She literally explains in various parts of it how turned on she was knowing
yeah.
that her
And she
stalker
gets,
is it's that's like the first fucking seed.
yeah,
Like she explains how like terrified she is, but how she loves it because her stalker's watching her through the window, but she's watching a scary movie in a haunted fucking house after her
yeah,
great grandmother, who literally died, she had a stalker. Like,
yep,
it's all morbid. It is.
it is. But
I
that's
like
her
morbid.
kink. Like, that's her thing. It's not my thing. No, thank you. But if that's your thing, that's your thing. Like, I'm not a kink shamer. If that's what you like, then go for
And
it.
I'm not sitting here saying that like I watch scary movies because that turns me on. I love scary movies because I like the thrill of it.
I
Now,
don't
in
like them.
see, and this is why you're abnegation, because you want to make sure everyone's fucking nice and happy to go. So in the previous episode, while we were talking about Fourth Wing, we did some discussion about Divergent, and I off camera we did two tests. We I got dauntless with both my tests. This bitch got abnegation for both of hers because I like the thrill and she doesn't.
I I like to help people. Like we just talked about that. Like I feel like I like to be that protector. I like to help people. I like to fix things.
And you're like, why the fuck am I abnegation?
I get it,
You
but
Hufflepuff.
I think fuck you and Brittany. Fuck you both. Um, but
Uh,
I also really value my intelligence. Like if I had one thing about myself, like my sin is my pride. I am so prideful and I'm very easily embarrassed because I have a lot of pride. But my like thing I'm the most proud of is my intelligence, which is why when someone makes me feel dumb, I fight or flight goes out the window. I'm fucking fighting. I will fucking fight you. Um so I think that's why I'm like I'm erudite. I'm Ravenclaw. Well, don't get me wrong. When I was 11 and I took the fucking quiz, I was a Ravenclaw, and you don't get sorted again after you're sorted the first time. So shut the fuck up, bitches. Now that I've grown and evolved as a person because I learned so much as a Ravenclaw, I've learned that um, humanitarian efforts are absolutely necessary or the world is going to fucking burn like it already fucking is. But I like to help people and protect people and save people. And I do have a bit of a savior complex like Harry, except I'm not a Gryffindor because I'm not fucking stupid. So, you're welcome. You
do you feel
caused that
better?
rant.
Do you feel better?
Yes. I'm
Do
hungry and
you?
tired though, which is kind of Hufflepuffy of me.
The listen, yes, that is very Hufflepuffle you. Hufflepuffle you.
Hufflepuffle.
um, see, and I really like, listen, so my first date with Will was going to a scream park. He was like, yeah, let's well, and so
Yeah.
he loves comedy shows. And I, at that point, had never been to comedy shows. And Will, I think he's probably like, you're taking this out of context. At one point, we were talking about it, and he goes, that was a red flag. You never been to a comedy show. Like, I could have said no. And I was like, oh, that's so mean. But once we started talking, and he kind of realized that, like, I really like scary things, and our first date was going to be in October, he's like, hey, do you want to go to a scream park instead? Because he was going to take me to whatever, but he he wanted to test the waters first. So when we met up, we went to a scream park, and that was our. We drove an hour there. We took 3 shots of tequila, not tequila, vodka, and we went and had some fun and got scared. And I enjoyed every fucking minute of it. It was so fun.
No,
I was so like exhilarating. I love
absolutely
it.
fucking not.
I love it. I love scary movies. I love Halloween. I love it all.
I love
Anything
Halloween,
scary, I
but I
love
don't
it.
like to be scared.
No,
Listen,
I love it.
I have been to a haunted corn maze twice in my life. I've never been to an actual haunted house, but I've been to 2 haunted corn mazes because Indiana. The first time, my mom and dad forced me to go in, um, and I went through it with them and their friends and their son. Um, and I was running and screaming, terrified for my fucking life. My mom, I love you, mom, if you're listening, but your dumbass wore high-heeled boots to the fucking haunted corn maze.
That's
So at one
muddy as
point,
fuck.
she trips and falls. I didn't give a fuck. I kept going. I didn't give a fuck. She could have broke her fucking leg. Didn't give a fuck. I kept going because it was around the time that the guy with the chainsaw pops out. There's always a guy with a chainsaw, right?
Yeah.
He pops out. Nope. Nope. Nope.
I'm fucking out of there.
Nope. I was gone. I was gone. I was at the end when they got there. I was done. The next year, they tried to force me to go again. On the way to the haunted corn maze, I peed my fucking pants because I was so scared. So I
Don't
sat
go.
at the, like, you know, they usually have like a tent or like the people at the front that you pay. I sat with the people at the front while the rest of them went through the corn maze. I just sat there with them because I was like, I'm not fucking going in there. Like, I literally am so upset that I peed my pants and you're going to try to make me go in there?
Right.
No, we're not going to be doing
Just
that.
fuck you. The No, see, I loved haunted things so much from such a young age. Like I watched Fear. You never watched? Oh, you do you know what Fear is though?
No.
Okay, so back in the early 2000s, like very stereotypical MTV. So on MTV, there was a show called Fear, and with that, you take people off the street, you take celebrities, whatever the case may be, and you give them like sets, like or like camera sets or whatever, and they have to wear these um, things to do various challenges. So, um, you and like 5 other people get dropped off at a haunted location throughout America or whatever.
No.
And throughout the night, you have to do these tasks and you can leave at any minute, but you forfeit the money that you get from staying all night. And sometimes it's you have to go into this haunted penitentiary and stay on the most haunted level with a demon or whatever by yourself in this cell for like 4 hours. And you have to do that or you forfeit kind of thing. So like you have to do these challenges and I every fucking time it was on at 10 p.m. like once a week and religiously. I went to Catholic school or whatever. I swear to God, I'm honestly surprised I had any fucking friends because of how weird I was as a child. But I watched that religiously. Did I think that there was somebody staring at me in between my bedroom door that was be like open like this much? 100%. But I didn't care because I loved it. I shut the door and I said, continue on.
Hell no. There is some sort of entity that lives in the house that I grew up in. It lives in the boiler room off of what was my bedroom at the time. Um, it never did anything except makes noise and make me hella uncomfortable. Um,
I'd
but
be
I was
downstairs, be like, "What up,
terrified.
demon?"
No, I was fucking terrified all the time in that fucking house. I hated that house. Still hate that house. Will always hate that house. Like, burn it the fuck down. My
Is it your
dad,
dad's house or your mom's house?
my dad's house. And
No.
him and his new wife keep talking about, like, they're currently in the process of selling her house, and then they're going to sell that house and buy a new house, which I think is fabulous. And I think whoever buys that house should burn it the fuck down, because
You should buy it and burn it the fuck down and then
first
sell
of
the
all,
land.
that house is really like, it's ancient, it's falling apart. It's been falling apart for years because it was built in like the 1800s. Like, it's an old farmhouse. Second of all, there's some evil shit in that house. I just no. Just burn it down. But I've always hated that house. I've never been okay with staying there by myself. Like, even into my teens, if my parents would leave for like a weekend trip or something, I would want someone to stay with me, or I would want to stay somewhere else. Like, I did not want to stay in that house by myself. Um, Even during the day, really, honestly, hated that house. So I was going to say, real life hauntings don't bother me, but I think it more depends on the actual energy. Like, the building I work in is haunted as fuck, but the energy of those spirits is not.
Malicious.
Yeah, the one that lives in my dad's
Um,
house is fucking. Mm.
Listen, if I didn't have to work and pay bills and do all of that, I 100% would travel anywhere and everywhere and just ghost hunt.
Mm. So I've been told by multiple people that I have the type of spirit that things latch onto because I'm an empath.
That's why you always say yes. That's what I was told. I went ghost hunting once with a group from Lafayette. And when I went to the house, which is actually in Atlanta, Indiana,
Mm.
it's really, really tiny, blink and you'll miss it kind of place. But it's called the Rhodes Hotel and it's got a long history. And it's got entities from like not every era, but quite a few centuries, not centuries, decades. And I ended up getting locked in a closet and I had scratches all over my back. Like they were burning. Nothing touched me. I was leaning up against the wall and my back was just scratched all the hell. And that shit hurt. And all I
Yeah.
did was go into the closet and sit down with a camera and then that was it. The door slammed and I couldn't get out. And in that room is a drunken entity that likes to beat women
Oh, well, there you go.
and throw them in the
Yeah.
closet, which is where I was.
There we
But
go.
it's like from like the saloon days. So like they had a game room full of or like card game room basically full of dolls that you could like
Oh no.
try to play
Mm-mm.
games with. Shit happened in that room. Shit happened up in the attic. Like something
Mm-mm.
always happened. And I loved every minute of it. I spent
No,
50
thank you.
bucks on that and I was like, this is so fucking fun.
My
But
astrologer actually told me to even be careful going, like, to make sure I wear protection and stuff when I go to antique shops.
uh yeah, no, when I left, the dude looked at me and he goes, hey, you might want to like tell
Cleanse.
these guys to stay here. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I would sit here outside the house and say, you cannot come with me. You must stay here. You are not welcomed. Like, say that a bunch of random times and then you should be good to go. And I was like, can you just like throw salt at me? Like, just real
Yeah.
quick. I was
Yes.
like, thanks, bro. How about the 17 other people that are here with us? He goes, no, you're the one with the most activity. You need to do that. And I was like, you fucking live here, bro. He
Yeah.
built onto the place. And then when you go into like the dining room area, there is literally a thick salt line that is encased around like glass so like nothing can disturb it.
Nice.
So I was like, yeah. But anyways, I think that's why I I get it. Not that I'm like drop my pants turned on kind of thing when I'm scared, but like the adrenaline junkie that I am, I understand where she's coming from with that. She just takes it to a whole new level.
Yeah, that
He
is
takes it
not
to a whole
me.
new level too.
Yes.
I mean, there's a
I
few
will
times where
say
I'm like,
though,
yeah, that's okay. And then the other times I'm like, please don't.
yeah,
Do not.
that scene with the mirror in the Hall of Mirrors. I
That was pretty good. That was well written. Although H.D. Carlton has a grammar errors, some writing errors, whatever. But that scene, though, that scene was good. That was a good
that
scene.
scene was very good. And like it makes me want to find like rent a Hall of Mirrors,
Right? Please
but
just
not at a fucking Scream Park because no. But
with
can we
Sibby in your
talk
background.
about my favorite fucking character,
Sibby.
Sibby?
Listen, I learned so much about her in Hunting Adeline.
Yes, that's why I kept asking you like, where, what part are you at? What part are you at? Because Sibby is fucking amazing. Also, can we talk about how I was at 49% of the book? 49%. And they had saved Adeline from the train car and like she was safe. She was back with Zayd. Um, what's her face was about to die. Or no, she wasn't about to die yet. But the she was safe.
Francesca. Oh,
Yeah. Um,
she was safe.
she was safe, okay? And she was back home and everything was okay and hunky dory. And I was at 49% of the book.
You're like, all
I
right,
was
I'm
like,
done. I don't need to read anymore.
right. I was like, no, I'm good. But then I'm glad I did because, like, it was almost like healing
hmm
to
It was really
watch
nice to like see her
vindicated
deal with.
almost. Like, yeah, like,
Yeah, I didn't like how she kind of like threw a part of her away to
yeah.
like turn into a murderer. I
But I
understand.
was
Like
gonna say,
I
I feel
would
like you have to. Like,
yeah, I feel like I would probably be in the same boat. Like I would feel like there's not necessarily that there's
and I
no
don't feel
hope,
like
but like
she threw it away. I feel like it was taken from her.
yeah. And
Um,
again, I get it. I just wish it wasn't like I wish she found part of herself.
that's
Like
why I asked if there was another book because I feel like with more healing, she could maybe find that part of herself again.
it yeah, and I really that's what I wanted to see. Like I wanted to see her lose herself, turn into something new, realize what she's doing isn't truly her. It's a version of her, and then go on that healing journey to find the old her and then adapt into that with who she is now kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that
Cuz
she probably will eventually, but also I think that like she will also never be the same again. Like you don't
and I don't
go
think I
through
want her
something
to
like
be
that.
the exact same. I think I just want her to
Maybe
see
find
who
her
she
moral
was.
compass again.
Not necessarily that, but like just do things that like make her enjoy
Yeah.
like if she goes for a walk, like not sit there and think, "Oh yeah, I'm safe, like I'm in the woods by myself," kind of thing. Like I don't want her to, I don't know. It's like a weird victim.
Yeah.
I think just because like I want what's I want what I wanted when I was raped. Like after I was raped, like I had to go through everything by myself. Like nobody helped me. I was afraid to talk to my I didn't even talk to my dad. My dad still doesn't know. But like I was afraid to talk to my mom. Like I was afraid to say anything to anyone cuz like the moment I said something to like what I who I thought was my friends, they just laughed it off and said, "You're lying. You probably are just making shit up. Like you probably deserved it," kind of thing. So okay, I lost my friends. I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody. I was in my second year of college. Like my ex of 6 years had just broken up with me. Like I was hitting rock fucking bottom. And I don't think I ever got that like innocence back. Ever.
I don't know that you would. Like I don't know that you
No.
could.
And I just feel like sometimes I feel like before that, before like the people that I was with, I just I don't know. Maybe life felt more simpler, but then I saw like the dark side of what could happen, and then it's like
Yeah. People fucking
you
suck.
just grow up, and then you become that hyper independent person, and then you never relax. I think
Yep.
that's I think that's why I wanted for her. I just wanted her to find like the part of her that could relax and that didn't have to worry.
Yeah. I
So
mean, I
that's a
get
little bit
that.
of my trauma kind of
I was gonna say, but
bleeding
that
in.
makes sense because I feel like you want that for her because you want it for you.
And maybe that's why I like the book so much, because it's not necessarily like I had an ex or something, or like a boyfriend that was like Zaid, but like in a in the grand scheme of things, she was raped unwillingly, especially in the second book, and so was I. And
Mm-hmm.
I was taunted by that person for months and fucking months and a couple of years even later. She wasn't necessarily taunted by anybody
Kind
afterwards,
of with
other than
Xavier,
like her
though.
dreams. Yeah, other than like her dreams and all of that. Um, but like, so like having to relive that moment and like also not fully remember that moment after like a couple of years, it's really kind of fucked up. And maybe that's why I liked the book so much, because like it kind of was therapeutic to read her situation, her happy go lucky before getting pulled into this world kind of thing, and then having to go through that mental jump and through the hoops
Yeah. I
kind of
just
thing.
had like a moment in my head where I identified with Zaid. Let me explain. As you were discussing that and you were talking about this person taunting you, I was like, I'll fucking kill him. And then I was
Yeah,
like, oh.
there he is. See, here's the thing. I identify as both Adeline and Zaid,
Right?
because, and I've talked with Will about this, because like it's this is like the ethical debate thing that I enjoy having. Um, I'm like Ham in that way from Mistborn. Um, and I use the example, I was like, babe, what do you think about like Gypsy Rose Blanchard? Like, some people say she shouldn't have been released so early, but then other people are saying no, she was a victim of her mother, so she shouldn't have been in there at all. And so then it's like, she didn't technically do it, but she planned it. But she also planned it because she was a victim of it. So like,
I don't think either her or her boyfriend should be in jail right now.
see, and Will was on the opposite side of that. He goes, just because she didn't do it doesn't mean like she didn't plan it. It's premeditated. And I was like,
I
yeah,
think the fact
but
that he is still in jail means she should still be in jail. Like, if that's the decision you made, then they should both still be in jail.
yeah.
But if I don't think either one of them should be. First of all, that poor boy has autism.
Yeah, I was gonna say he needs to have like maybe not jail, like he needs to be in some type of like mental health facility kind of thing,
Yeah.
especially for what happened. But also with her being a victim of stuff.
I think that had she done it herself, people like this wouldn't be as big of a discussion. I don't know that she would
Yeah.
have even necessarily gone to jail. Like, that's
I think she probably
self-defense.
would have been, yeah, I was gonna say. And that's the other thing. Is it self-defense? Now,
Yes.
where is it? Yeah, hold on. But ethically, is it self-defense? Because it's not actively happening at the moment. And here's the thing, criminal justice, and this is why I wasn't why I wasn't a criminal justice sake, but I like to hear the offside of this. It's is it self-defense if it was happening periodically throughout the thing? Like, yes, it's abuse no matter what, no matter which way you look at it. But is it self-defense because her mom wasn't actively like in that moment like beating the fuck out of her? That's not
Yes.
self-defense kind of thing.
Still
So then,
self-defense.
yeah, and then it's like, well, where do you go from here? Yeah,
And then
so
the other side of that is like she's been through this. We went on a whole other tangent, but she's been through this abuse and trauma from her primary caregiver for so much of her life that, I mean, could we not rule by insanity? Like,
honestly, yeah, then that's another
she's
thing.
been
Like,
through
why
so much
isn't
trauma.
this?
Like, her mental health is not okay. I
Yeah.
mean, if you look at pictures of the girl now, she's still not okay.
Mm-mm. But like, and that's what I'm saying, like, with this whole thing. Like, is he ethically doing the right thing? Yes. Could he do it a different way? Probably. Do I enjoy it any other way? No. This is the most fucking satisfying thing ever. But like, and I was trying to have a conversation with him like about all of the ethics behind this. Like, well, I mean, technically, yeah, that's a thing. But if you think about it, this is also a thing. And I enjoyed it.
Personally, I, even though I just said I'll fucking kill him, I'm not.
Well,
I'm really not like a violent person. Like, I talk a lot and my words can hurt, but I'm not one that's like, I actually want to cause physical pain or that I would actually kill someone.
I feel like that's the female in you though, because I feel like females go for the words, like they go for the mental health. They hit you where it hurts mentally. Men just fight
Yeah.
because brains over
But I think
bronze,
some of
like
it
that
is
argument.
also
But
like the witch part of me that's
mm-hmm.
like living
Karma
things
will get
all.
you.
Yeah, well, and just like life is a beautiful thing, even if you're not. I know my animals are a hot fucking mess tonight. Um, I don't know. I don't think I don't like, and I used to be the first one to like smack a bug out the air. I don't even like really killing bugs anymore. Like I would like
No,
to
if
just
I
shoot
see a
them out.
spider, I try my hardest to like move it to like a corner out of my way, or like if it's a bigger spider that I don't want in my house, I take it like right outside the door.
Well,
It's not outside, it's just outside my door. So it
uh,
means it's still covered.
let me be absolutely clear. I still
Unless
kill
it's a
spiders.
roach. I stomp the fuck out of those guys.
There are multiple kinds of bugs that I will still kill. Like spiders being one because if you don't show Brittany the dead spider carcass, she doesn't believe you killed it and she will not be able to sleep tonight. Um because she caught me once being like, "Oh yeah, I got it," and I didn't actually get it and she caught me. And so now if I don't show her the dead spider carcass, she doesn't believe me. Um so spiders, number 1, I will still kill if they're in the house. Number 2, bed bugs.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
never been in our house, but like whenever I would find them on a student, when I had students with bed bugs, I would kill them. And number 3, I've never had the experience of killing one, but lice, because pre-K kids are gross.
Yeah. Here's the here's the funny thing. When after my rape, I kind of shut down because like police didn't help me at all. Like the jurisdiction that it happened in and the jurisdiction of like that police fucking sucks. And apparently that's on me for getting raped in their county. Whatever. And that's also partially why I wanted to become a police officer because I wanted to do better. I wanted to do better for like the women and girls and college kids out there who face this by themselves and felt like no one believed them.
And part of the problem is like there are a lot of people out there with that attitude,
Hmm.
but they're not in a position to make that change.
Yeah,
Like
but
it
like,
takes higher up people than that to actually make any kind of lasting change.
yeah. And here's the thing though, I was like, I'm not gonna say anything to anybody. I had guy friends because I was in like a male dominated like college career, and I had a couple of great guy friends at the time. Um, and then their girlfriends did not like me. So now we're not friends anymore. But when they found out about it, they were pissed. They wanted to kill him. They wanted to go to the person's house and like beat the fuck out of him. And no one has ever did that for me. So like I felt loved. I felt wanted in somebody's life. That was probably the only fucking support I had after my rape. And there was a chance that I could have been pregnant, and both of
Oh
them were like,
God.
yeah, and both of them were like, hey, we'll be here for you if you decide to keep it. Like, we'll help you babysit, like we'll help you through this. I was like, thanks. Thanks so much. And they were like, and on the off chance you don't want to keep it, we understand. We will also be there to support you because,
Because this is fucked. Like,
yeah. And I sat there, I was like, I don't, personally for me, I don't think I could ever abort. Maybe once upon a time, like that was something that I would like consider. But like at my age now, I'm okay, like if I'm pregnant. But like at the time, Brady's like, that fuck, no. At the time, I just felt like I had so much more that I wanted to do and achieve before any of that. And I also didn't want to raise a child and be like,
your
I
daddy's a
know,
rapist.
yeah, I know exactly how you came to be.
Right.
Um,
Because you would always, unfortunately, you would always see that.
yeah, and that's just and some people are out there like, no, I would have loved it anyways, and it's like, yeah, that's great. That's not me.
I'm not saying
Like
you wouldn't love it. Like you
no,
might, but
but I
you
definitely
would
would always
also, yes.
hold, and I wouldn't want to hold it against them, but I would.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm the kind of person that like revenge is sweet. And
Hmm.
that is on my mental health. Will does not need to tell me that. But
Ding, ding, ding. You just hit the button about why I would absolutely abort.
yeah,
You have to, you can't be on your mental health medications
yeah.
and I have been in that
I
dark
honestly
place.
probably would have killed myself. I mean,
Uh,
that's around the time that I like actually had to go on a lot of medication.
yeah, I've been in that dark, dark place too many times, especially if it was a result of something horrendous like that.
Yeah.
There's no way that I could stop taking all of my medications, go through all of those changes in my body that really, I'm on the upper age range of being viable anyway. Second or third, like, I don't fucking want a kid. I don't care if I loved the person. If somehow Brittany grew a penis that had real sperm and
No.
we got pregnant, I still wouldn't want that child.
Yeah.
Like, that would be a much harder decision for me in that case. And it would be something obviously I'd have to discuss with her, but that's not something that could ever happen, so it's not something I have to worry about. Thank
Right.
God. Um, but I don't want kids. I love
Mhm.
kids, other people's kids that I can send home at the end of the day. Or when they have lice, I can be like, stay the fuck away from me. And I don't have to
I
be
don't
the
want
one to
you
comb their
at all.
hair.
Yeah.
Like, no. I am perfectly happy being the unhinged auntie that everyone loves to come spend the night with.
There you go.
Because I can then send them home. I don't even want
You're
the
like,
fucking dog anymore. Like, the dog is too much for me. I love that dog. Love him to death. But he's too much.
he's so fucking.
So,
Well, that's on having a husky though. So like,
any dog, any dog, any dog. Because, first of all, yes, he's a husky, and so he's like extra. But, like, just the fact that we can't go away for the weekend without getting someone to watch the dog. Ew. The cats, you just throw down like 3 days worth of food and make sure the litter box is clean, and you can leave them bitches for like 5 to 7 days. The dog, you can't leave for 3 hours without something happening. I, I, mm-mm. We're gonna get another dog because Brittany wants a dog. She wanted the dog in the first place, and the dog chose me, so we're gonna get her another dog. But if I didn't have a Brittany, I would never get another dog. Ever.
I'm too lazy to have a dog, and I love the girls. I love them so much, and I do want a dog. Like I want another one. Um,
Mm-mm.
but my laziness only gives me the adequate amount of n- need for the cat. That's about it.
Yeah.
Everything else is
Well, and
like,
like
damn it,
my
I gotta
cat,
take you out.
even between our two cats, like I love both of our cats. I love all of our animals. But like I like one of our cats more than the other partially because he was my first cat and he's my familiar. That's my baby.
Kemper.
Yes. But also, he wants me to be over here. He wants to be with me in this room, but I'll sit in this chair and he'll lay over there.
That's how Lily is. She just wants to be in the same room as me.
Yeah. He doesn't like closed doors. He wants to be able to get to me, but he doesn't want to lay on me. He will lay over there. Actually, if he lays on me, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Do we need to go to the vet? Like, what's. And 9 times out of 10, he does. The
Got
other
your own
cat
bed detector.
likes to cuddle, but that's partially because when we got him, he was dying, and so we cuddled him a lot. Like when he was a baby. But even he's too
Listen,
much for me sometimes. I don't like
yeah,
it. Don't want it. No, thank you. Also, I think this is going to have to be a two-parter. I didn't think it was, but I think it's going to have to be.
yeah, it definitely is gonna have to be because like
We
you
haven't even
scratch
started
this.
talking about hunting. We barely started talking about hunting.
Yeah,
I have a lot
we
more to
just
say about Sibby
right. Well, here's the
and
thing
all the
too.
trauma and the what was the thing called where they run through the forest? We got to talk about that too.
Oh, the culling.
The culling, yeah, we got to talk about that too. So,
Well, and here's the thing too. Yeah, you know, this is what happens. We don't have anything written down because we didn't. We're like, yeah, it's gonna be a one shot or it'll be fine. Like,
yeah, we just talk a lot.
well, and it's kind of important. I mean,
But I
I don't
feel
know.
like this is going to be a really interesting episode because we have let ourselves follow those thought processes, and
Yeah,
I think it's going to be an interesting one.
I don't know. I just the more we talk about this, like whenever Will's just like, I don't know how you like this. Like this story just sounds. Maybe it's just because I didn't explain it very well to him,
Let
but
me
like,
be perfectly clear. There was part of the time, especially hunting Adeline, the first half of the book, I didn't like it. I was like, why am I reading this? I don't want to read this, but I have to know what happens.
yeah, he he was just saying like because I was sitting there like, oh my god, like that's like what the fuck, and he goes what, and I like kind of do like a brief synopsis. I was like, oh well, this happened, and then at this point like this happened, and then this one's a serial killer, so then like she's in on it too, and he's just like it like the story just there was so much to the story that it just didn't make sense.
Yeah, it's a
It was
lot. And there's a
it was
lot
like
of
one thing
detail.
happened, yeah, like one thing happened, and then like something else that's outrageous like came into it, and then like you couple it with another outrageous thing, and then that's like just one chunk of what's happening. And Will's like, no, that's a terrible fucking story, and that's his opinion. That's fine. He didn't read it. That's fine. But
Yeah.
like he just looks at me, he goes, how do you fucking like this? And now that we're like talking about it and discussing it, I think it's my trauma that's like
Agreed. And I don't have the same trauma as you. I am very fortunate to never have experienced that. Um, because unfortunately, there's a high percentage of women that has happened to.
mhm,
Um,
more often than not, actually.
yeah. Um, However, some of my other trauma from childhood, like, gives me issues and makes me want that, like, I
I
don't know,
have daddy
protective
I have
side.
daddy problems. I
I
have
just have,
daddy and mommy
I
problems.
was gonna say, I
I
got
also have
both.
come to find out. Yeah, I come to find out I have both. So
Yeah.
thanks,
So,
therapist.
yeah.
But okay, anyways.
So
So
we're gonna,
we'll probably revisit this.
we're definitely gonna revisit this because we haven't
Oh,
talked
okay.
about some of the things I definitely wanted to talk about, like Sibby and then her mom and dad, and there's multiple other things I wanted to touch
Oh,
upon. So I'll try to make a bulleted list at least so we make sure for the next one that we touch upon those things that I wanted to
yeah,
talk
see,
about.
this is what happens. I mean, isn't this what podcast is all about though? Like just talking randomly.
It is.
I
You know
know that some
what?
people have like scripts, but
Well, and there are some people who really dislike banter and just chatting. I'm not one of those people. That's my favorite part of the podcasts I listen to, like those little random little stories and tidbits. Um, and at this point in this, we're on year 2 now, or year 3 now, I mean, of this podcast.
yeah, we just
Um,
celebrated our 2nd year anniversary.
yeah.
Uh
So we're on year 3 now. At this point, if you don't like banter, why are you here? Like, we are definitely that type of podcast. We banter a lot.
I just wish we argued more.
Yeah,
We
but
agree on a lot of
I was gonna
things.
say we're really similar, so.
Anyways.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Until next time.
Bye.